Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take. How your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We want to chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Repeat offender who's been MIA, Lucas Smith, is in the house. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Ron. And just to be clear, I have some boundaries. You have to stay on your side of the desk.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll work. That'll work. You know something? I think I understand.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we are celebrating today. Okay, National Cheese Lovers Day. Now, the question I have to ask here when we're talking about it's National Cheese Lovers Day, is it the cheese that we're referring to, or is it the individual that loves the cheese that we're referring to? I just don't know, but I'm going to go with the cheese. So, question of the day, Josh, what's your favorite cheese? Now, I'm going to share this one because I can. So I like most kinds of cheeses, but I will share, and I guess I got to be careful on this. The bride makes a great brie cheese wrapped in filo dough, and then you put chutney on top of that. That is good stuff. I like that one, but there's not a whole lot of cheeses. Now there used to be a place, and I don't know because I don't go to Los Angeles any more than I have to. There used to be a place right near the Disney Center down there that made cheeses, and they had a cart of, how do I put it? Not completely regulated cheeses. So there was some good cheeses on that cart too. So they were not pasteurized and all that kind of stuff. Don't know if it's still there, but Lucas, do you have a favorite? Cheese?
Most of them. I'm going to say most of them. I really like a good, well-aged cheddar, or a really good handmade blue cheese. Just
handmade blue cheese.
Oh yes. If you haven't had a handmade blue cheese, you have to try some.
Okay, I don't know if I've had that or not, but I do really like a handmade blue cheese stuffed olive in my vodka martini. But that's a whole but we're not talking about
that's a different celebration day, Ron.
Different celebration.
Different day. This is cheese day, bro.
Okay. And we're also celebrating National Butter Crunch Day. Now I look at the picture and I just call it English toffee. And I have beaten anorexia. So I like this. Now, I don't eat a whole lot of it. But every once in a great while, Butter Crunch, it works. What else is going on in the world today? Let's take a look. Is there any news going on? Oh, yeah. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 492 points. We've got the NASDAQ down 319. S&P 500 is down 73. Oil is up $1 a barrel at $60.34 a barrel, the national average of a gallon of gasoline. This one drives me crazy because we are in Calizuela, $2.82 a gallon of gasoline.
Yahoo! Yahoo!
Yeah. That's pretty good, except for one thing. We don't have that kind of pricing in California. So the average for a gallon of gasoline in California, $4.20 a gallon.
Ow!
Yeah, well, we've got Gavin, we've got a state legislature that, and I shouldn't say that. Let's not blame it on Gavin. Let's not blame it on the state legislature. Let's blame it on the citizens of the state of California, because we are getting what we voted for, right?
That's right.
We vote for this stuff, so we got what we wanted. So if you don't like the price of a gallon of gasoline at $4.20 a gallon, and I will note that at least we're not the highest price in the country anymore. Hawaii still has us beat. Now they've taken over. But I think, and I'm just doing this off the top of my head and looking at my computer as quick as I can, that we are the only two states in the union with gasoline prices over $4 a gallon. The only two. So Vermont is in the top 10 highest priced states. They're at $2.99 a gallon. What's that make them? $1.30 a gallon below us? Unbelievable. Josh, what are you there about 320, 310, give or take? Okay, so they're Nevada's in the top 10 also, highest price, 310. We're at 420. So don't get any ideas about 420. I understand all the jokes. Okay, but what else is going on in the world? My Rams won over the weekend. That's a good thing. Seattle looked about as good as any team could possibly look. I'm not sure even, I believe, my personal opinion, 85 Bears were probably the best team that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I'm not sure if the Seattle Seahawks on that game on Saturday didn't look better than the 85 Bears. But the question is, were they that good, or was San Francisco that bad? I don't think San Francisco is that bad a team. So we'll see what happens this weekend when the Rams play the Bears. And then you've got New England playing Denver.
The mighty Broncos.
The Broncos, I think, are done.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Bo Nix having that broken ankle at the very end of the game. I think that's a big setback. I didn't think that the Patriots would be able to beat the Texans, but they did it. So we'll see what happens there. Other news, and this is a funny one. I just laugh at this one because I can. So the president comes out and says that, it's in our vital interest to take over Greenland. Now, let's think about this a little bit. Greenland is part of Denmark. Denmark did not do what they're supposed to do in setting up protections for Greenland. They agreed to it in the first administration of the Trump presidency, but they did not do anything. They agreed to, I think, $200 million. They spent $2 million. That's how they figured they were going to protect Greenland from Russia and China. Now, if the U.S. takes over, then what does that mean? That means deterrence, because China and Russia are not going to attack Greenland if it's a U.S. territory. Now, as Denmark, the U.S. doesn't get to set up any deterrence, but it is part of Article 5 of NATO. So then we get the bill. So is the president right or is the president wrong? And it's already so close to the U.S. strategically. I'm going to say it's pretty important. So, you look at that. Trump says, I'm going to put tariffs on these European countries that don't want to participate. Well, it's being led by Macron. Now, I'm not saying anything bad against French people, but I will say that I don't know if I even have it on here anymore. On our old soundboard, I had a shotgun sound effect. And did you know that, just throw this out there, did you know that Disney had to stop their fireworks show at Disney France? Every time they put up the fireworks, the French military retreated. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to chat with Lucas Smith about real estate, home updates that actually pay you back when you sell. Inventory will rise another 10% in 2026. Teen driver insurance strategies. We'll talk about all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference in the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com mobile app and every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated from actual lock rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put in your mortgage calculator to figure out your principal and interest payments. If you do not have a mortgage calculator, shame on you. It's free. We've got a suite of 64 calculators that we give away. rsrlinks.com/calculators. rsrlinks.com/calculators. There is a mortgage calculator in there. There is a rent versus own calculator in there. There is a calculator to determine if a rental property makes sense compared to your other investments. And there's another 60 of them in there as, hey, you want to be debt-free, no mortgage in 6 to 8 years? That's in there also. What did rates do on Friday? Not yesterday, it was Friday. Let's take a look. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.043. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.34. That one was down. FHA 30-year fix, 5.987. That was up. VA flat 30-year fixed, 5.693. In the USDA, 6.032. That one was up. If you want our thoughts about the markets each and every business day morning, as early as the data allows, yes, I do put out a report. It's in the Ron Siegel Radio community. You can join the community for free. Lots of great information in there. We even have guest writers in there as well from time to time. rsrlinks.com/HBOD. rsrlinks.com/HBOD. Where did you come up with HBOD, Ron? Household Board of Directors. Everybody needs one. Just throw that. You know that I tell you this all the time. If you don't have a household board of directors, you're missing out because you need a great lender. You need a great realtor. You need a great attorney, CPA, tax advisor, insurance person. That's your board of directors, just as if Apple has their board of directors. Let's see what the markets are doing today. It is, well, I wouldn't say it's Black Monday, but it is a little ugly. We've got the S&P 500 is down 78 right now. We've got the 10-year Treasury. This is a number that I've been watching for you for some time. 10-year Treasury is at 4.27. It's up 5 basis points today. We went over that 4.2 number. Happened a little bit on Friday. Remember, I've told you this many, many times. The market always overreacts. So when it looked and saw that President Trump was talking about more tariffs, the market overreacted. I look at the mortgage backs, and I told you that 2 weeks ago when the president said he's going to spend $200 billion, or he's ordering the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to buy $200 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities, and we took a big drop then. I told you then that the market overreacted to that too. I also told you that if you're thinking about refinancing, if you didn't know what your number is, well, you were going to miss out because every time in the past, if you weren't ready to react, the market would reverse itself, or at least every time in the last few years. rsrlinks.com/what's your number. We monitor that for you. So if you know what your number is, I want to save $300 a month. You put that, you can put that into one of the calculators too, and it'll tell you the number. So all that's for you. Now, what's the market? What's driving this market right now? Well, obviously the tariffs, that's one big issue. We also got the data that coming in from Japan. That's another one causing a lot of uncertainty right now because Japan needs money. They're having to borrow more money. Now, no one's talking about this one. Who owns the biggest holder of U.S. debt? Yes, it's Japan. So by far, Japan has more U.S. treasuries than any other country in the world. Now, if they're running out of money, do you think they might sell some of ours? So Japan is impacting the markets. Their yields rising sharply, causing global yields to rise. Japan may have to issue more debt. They're already huge debt total. They have absorbed debt over the past by purchasing, but they stopped that and are going to begin selling a small amount. Yields have risen by 40 basis points over the last few days. That is huge. That adds to more uncertainty. We've got the tariff issue in Greenland, uncertainty. Now, we did get National Association of Home Builders market index for January, showing the overall index fell 2 points to 37, Current sales 41 from 42. Future sales expectations 49 from 52. Buyer traffic 23 from 26. Just remember, though, this data is all before the president announced that he was directing Fannie and Freddie to purchase $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities. ADP announced their weekly employment data, 4 weeks ending December 27th, showed 8,000 jobs created per week on average. Now, it had been higher than that. So how do you get the average to drop? It has to be significantly below the average. That's just math, my friends. So the job market is still not good, no matter what Jerome Powell has to say. And you know my thoughts about Jerome Powell. It's very, very simple.
Such an idiot.
Yes,
Such an idiot.
Unbelievable. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. So let's chat with our friend Lucas Smith. He is in the house. It's been a while. Good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while.
Glad to have
I'd
you.
come by, visit, see what Tuesday was looking like for you.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm glad to have you on the show. Sell My Home Real Estate.
That's right.
Okay. So I guess you want to sell somebody's house.
Well, look, you, Ron, as a consumer,
Okay.
if you go into Google, not as Ron the lender, but as Ron the consumer.
So I have to go into private chatting.
And you want to sell your house. What are
Okay.
you going to type into Google?
What's my house worth?
What's my house worth? Okay, great. Where's your house, right? How's Google going to know that?
Yeah. What's my house worth in Anaheim, California?
Right.
What's
yeah.
my house
You're
worth
probably
in
gonna,
Newport
You're probably
Beach?
going to start with a value,
Right.
right? Or
Because
the
everybody
layman-
knows the value of their house, right? I mean, most of the time it's wrong, but they know a number.
yeah, they know a number. Everybody's got a number, but most of the time it's wrong, right?
Yeah.
The layman, right, is often going to type in "What's my house worth?" or "Sell my home."
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's Google searchable.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So I guess you're going to be found in Google.
That's that's where everybody looks for stuff, right?
So you know something I'm wondering about that nowadays. Just because do you Google things anymore?
I do.
Do you? I get frustrated when I put something into Google and I end up leaving
Well,
because
wait,
all I
wait.
get is ads.
I don't necessarily go into the Google search engine and Google things.
Okay.
What I do is I pick this thing up, I press the button, and I say, "Tell me what this is." And then this, whether you're using a Samsung or an Apple or whatever you're using, that device is probably going to default to Google as its search engine,
Okay. That's kind of interesting.
right? So since we're
So
all
I
here,
go into AI for everything anymore.
I know, but Google AI is running the world, right? That's the biggest thing I'm developing in my business is showing up better on Google AI,
Okay.
right? Because their AI comes first, then come the ads, and then comes their organic searches.
Okay, I know when I look at Google, I get frustrated because I put it something. I was just looking the other day for something when we were in Palm Desert, and I put it into Google, and all I got was 6 ads, none of them related to what I wanted. And I went over to ChatGPT. Now I use all the AIs,
Right.
right? If I want to find some data, I go to ChatGPT. If I want copywriting, it's Claude. If I want images, it's Gemini. So I'm using all of them.
Right.
If I want an infographic, it's Notebook, which is also Google. But I get so tired of all the darn advertising.
I know, but look, nobody's watching television anymore necessarily, right?
Right.
They've ads got to sell somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, I'm in radio. I get it. and you know something? We've just started an ad agency where we can actually get anything we want on advertising. And usually 10 to 15,000 people, it shows up on Meta within the first 10 days.
Nice.
So, I get that it's all about advertising.
It is. And being advertising
organic is
friendly,
best.
right? Nobody's going to go into Google or into any search engine and look for Lucas Smith Real Estate.
Right. Because they don't know you, right?
Because they don't know me.
Until they know you,
Right.
right? Then they already have your information, so they don't need to go to Google for it.
Right.
Right. So what areas? I mean, before we went on air, you were talking about getting a broker's license in Arizona. Where are you guys working now?
Well, no. We're still here. We're still in North Orange County, right? We still specialize mostly in North Orange County, Western Riverside County, a lot of the same areas that you cover, Ron.
Okay.
Right. Although we don't go as far out to the desert as you do. But just, we've run into a lot of people who are selling here and they're moving either to the greater Phoenix area or they're moving to the Lake Havasu area.
Havasu's great.
Havasu's great.
Except for 3 weekends a year.
Yeah. So we've partnered
Small
with
town America.
Yeah,
Except
we've partnered with a company out there, right, who's doing pretty good in the Phoenix area,
Okay.
and we're going to open up a branch office in Lake Havasu.
Nice.
So, right, and not because I'm going to move to Lake Havasu anytime soon, because we were talking about grandkids before this came on, right? I'm going to stay close to where my grandkids are.
Of course.
But you've got to be looking for opportunities, Ron, right?
Certainly.
Where's the next big opportunity?
And it's in America.
It's in America. They believe in freedom. It's a great growth market, right? It's a great second home market.
I love it too. I mean, when our kids were younger, we used to go out there all the time. And it was, if you went out there, if it wasn't for Memorial Day, July 4th, and Labor Day, it'd
be a great place. Yeah.
It's a small town.
Yeah. Other than those big holidays, it's a great place to be.
It is. We loved it out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, home updates that actually pay you back when you sell. Pay you back when you wonder how that works. We're going to talk about that one. Teen driver insurance strategy. We'll talk about that maybe if we get time. And more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. You want to know what your house is worth? rsrmoney.com. They're going to give you valuations, including those that are used by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, right there on the. Now, I don't know if they put on their Zillow, but they're wrong anyway. So but a lot of people are looking at it, so sometimes they put it on there. Home updates that actually pay you back when you sell. Planning to sell this spring while you may be tempted to hold off until the first blooms or the spring showers hit. That's actually waiting too long to get started by today's standards. Buyers have more options than they did a few years ago, so it's worth it to tackle repairs now and make sure your house is set up to stand out, because you don't want to be caught scrambling right before the spring rush or running out of time to do the work your house really needs. The key is focusing on updates that actually matter, and that's exactly where return on investment data comes in handy. Which projects tend to pay off? Every year, Zonda looks at which home improvements deliver the most bang for the buck when you go to sell your house, and the results can be a little surprising. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490 and FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart of home projects with the highest return on investment. The green in the chart shows the updates where sellers have the biggest percentage to add value based on that research. While there's a wide range of projects represented in this data, the cool part is some of the top winners aren't big to-dos. They're just swapping out doors. And let's see if I can enlarge this so I can see some of these things, because I am old, I am blind, and this terminology, this stuff is a little bit small for me. So garage door replacement, 268% return on your investment. Steel door replacement, 216%. Installing manufactured stone veneer, 208%. Siding replacement, 114%. Minor kitchen remodel, 113%. Interesting stuff right there. Now, I'm not the real estate expert. We'll talk about that in just a couple minutes with Lucas Smith. Small updates, big visual impact. This goes to show little projects that have a big impact, so you don't have to spend a fortune and you don't need to tackle everything on the list. But in today's market, doing nothing can work against you. Now that buyers have more homes to choose from, a lot of them are going to opt for what's move-in ready. The best advice, focusing on what your house needs, whether it's listed here or not, like the repairs you've been putting off, a front door or shutters in need of a little TLC, piles of leaves in the yard, scuffed up paint where your kids play inside. Those details matter too. Mallory Slesser, interior designer and home stager, explains it to the National Association of Realtors this way, quote, if you're looking for affordable updates that pack a punch, dollar for dollar, I would say painting, changing out light fixtures, changing out hardware, maybe new draperies or window treatments. Those are all cost-effective ways to make a big statement. It really changes the space, unquote. These seemingly small things help buyers focus on the home itself, not the work they think they have to do after moving in, and that's paying off for other sellers. Buyers are often willing to spend more on homes that feel well cared for, updated, and move-in ready. Here's an important thing to remember. National data like this is a guideline. Buyer preferences are going to vary by location, price point, and even neighborhood. That means a project that boosts value in one area might be unnecessary or even overkill in yours. That's why the first step should always be to talk with a local real estate professional before you start, an experienced agent, not just someone that got a license because it only took them 90 days to do it and they think they're going to save money. An experienced agent can help you answer questions like, which updates do buyers in your market expect? What can you skip without hurting your sale? Where will a small investment make the biggest difference? Is it better to update or sell as is? That guidance helps you avoid over-improving and under-preparing. Bottom line, if you're looking to sell this spring, you still have time to make updates that help your home stand out without taking on a full renovation. If you're not sure where to start, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Quick conversation to help you prioritize the updates that'll pack the biggest punch. I'll actually put you in touch with a real estate professional in your neighborhood because I have a report card on anyone. Every real estate agent in the country that's doing business, I've got a report card on them. So if you're listening to me in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, I can tell you who to talk to right there. What's one upgrade you've been thinking about and wondering if it's worth it? That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Again, we are chatting with Lucas Smith. He is with us. And name of the company is Sell My Home Real Estate. Lucas Smith. So what do you think about that? What are your thoughts about the markets that you cover? Do the items that are in there make sense in your markets?
I mean, paint for sure, right? I don't know how much people notice light fixtures. I always tell people paint, look at your flooring, right? So paint and carpet. If you have carpet, do new carpet and pressure wash the outside of the house. A lot of people don't even think about that, but hire somebody to pressure wash the outside of the house. Blow the first layer of dirt off.
That's an interesting one.
Right?
You might not even need the new paint if you get the dirt off.
Well, right. Take a look at it. See what you need, right?
What are your thoughts about the garage doors on there?
If your garage door is made of wood, replace it immediately.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And do you see it where it's going to bring? Is the market value the market value, or can you influence the market value?
You can always influence the market value, right? People buy emotionally, Ron.
Okay.
Right. We like to think we make decisions logically, right? But we really make decisions emotionally, and we justify them with logic.
That's a good thought,
right?
Now,
so
you know my definition of logic when it comes to this, don't you?
What's that?
What did Mindy tell me I like?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. What does my wife like? That's logic, right? Am I making a good spending decision, right? Based on what my wife likes, right?
I look at the numbers and I don't get a vote on most of the other stuff.
Right. But you get to justify the numbers logically for whatever she wants to spend, right? So if she likes it, you're going to spend that money because I don't know about in your house, but in my house, there's one rule. Happy wife, happy life.
I have two rules.
You have two? There's a second rule?
Yep.
See rule number one?
That's it. If you think that doesn't apply, see rule number one.
You have any questions, see rule number one. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, she rules. I mean, it's pretty simple. She's the...
But again, we buy emotionally, right? Both men and women, even though women tend to be more emotional than men, we buy emotionally. And so we want to trigger those emotions of excitement.
We justify what we want.
Right. We want excitement, right? What we like, right? So make it look nice.
Yeah.
Start there. It's cheap.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know something, even if you decide not to sell,
you get a benefit. It's nicer.
You're going to enjoy it. Absolutely.
Right.
So what is the market really softening?
So we've gone through a market correction in the last few months.
Okay.
Right.
What does a correction mean?
So you and I both know. So the public perception is the market just goes up in one big straight line, goes up, 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 right? Is that the public perception?
Yep.
Okay. But you and I both know it tends to go like this.
Sure.
Right. So anytime it takes a dip, that's a correction. It's a natural part of the real estate market. We've gone through dozens of them in the last 15 years that I've been in business, right? Some bigger, some smaller. This, I think, was about a 10% correction across the board here in Orange County anyway.
Okay.
Which means if your house was worth, 1.2, it dropped at the lowest about 120,000, and now it's coming back up a little bit.
Wow. So you saw prices dropping that much?
We saw prices dropping about 10% across the board.
Wow.
Right.
None of the statistics show that big of a drop.
Okay.
But
out in the real world,
the statistics aren't out in the. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, out in the real world, if you wanted to sell, you had to be significantly below what other people were pricing their properties at in order to get your property sold.
And that's why it's important to talk to somebody that's out there on the street. I sit in my office because I'm dealing with numbers.
Right.
I'm not out there. You could bring me a buyer, and you say, okay, it's 1.2, 10% down, 20% down, 30% down. Great, cool. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just looking at the numbers.
Right.
You're out there looking and saying, okay, what can we get on this? What are we doing? And that's a big difference, right?
Huge. And 10% was a few months ago. We're coming back out of that. But I still tell people, if you're thinking of buying a house, this is the best time to buy.
Why?
Because sellers are still suffering the effects of that correction and interest rates are coming down.
Okay.
If you wait until interest rates hit the 4s, you're way too late. Everybody knows then. Right.
Well, I'm telling everybody right now that if you're waiting on interest rates, the market is going to explode when interest rates are as low as you think they might go, which they may never get to.
Ron, in 2010, when I got into this business, I had people waiting on interest rates to go back down. Right. You know what we call them? Renters.
Right. Okay. There you go. Okay.
Right. So, and I tell people all the time, I say, look, you get one opportunity to get a good purchase price.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get multiple opportunities, especially if you're working with a great lender like you, to get a better interest rate at some point in time.
Sure.
Right. And
Well,
I
you know-
hate catchy sayings like buy now, date the rate, all that stupid stuff. Right. But you're going to get one opportunity to get a good purchase price.
You know something, when you're spending $1 million or $1.5 million, even if you're spending 500,000 or 200,000, doesn't matter what the number is. It's your castle.
It's a lot of money.
Right? It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And whatever you spend when you go and find that house, theoretically, it should be the biggest amount, your expenditure, right?
Right.
If your payment is $5,000 a month, it's not going to go up from there if you've got a fixed rate loan. It's only going to go down from there.
Right.
Or could go down from there.
Well, and relative to rents, so when I bought my house almost 10 years ago, right, rents in my market were about $1,000 less than what my payment was going to be. And I get run into a lot of buyers who look at this. They're like, well, I'm paying less in rent now.
Okay.
So it was $1,000 less. Right now, my payment's still the same. I could rent my house for $1,000 more than my payment is. So in just almost 10 years, right, that's shifted fully the other way.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of math and then we'll talk about it when we come back. So $1,000 a month more is $12,000 a year.
I don't even need my calculator for that.
I'm pretty good at that, right? Now, at some point over that time period, it flipped, but I'm just going to say it's stayed there until just this year, just for easy math purposes. So that's 12,000 times 10 is 120,000. When we want to come back, I want to talk about that part of it right there.
Okay.
Because there's a significant number that's missing. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. Were you listening to us last Thursday? I think it was. Last Thursday, when we were talking to the dentist, he was actually showing people how in the Wealth Builder program, he's showing dentists how to have their house paid off in 6 to 8 years, no extra payments, get their student loans paid off, car payments paid off, all because of using the right home loan product. That would be the Wealth Builder loan. And you can learn about it at gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. That is the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by gethomeselect.com. Again, it's the best loan on the market. If you can qualify for it, not everybody qualifies, but if you can qualify for the Wealth Builder, gethomeselect.com, you can be out of debt and still have all the liquidity that you have of your home ownership. That's the beauty of it. Want to go buy a car? Pay cash. Well, actually, don't pay cash. Finance the car. Keep that loan for about 3 months, then pay it off from your home equity. That way you get the benefit from the car dealer of them having financed a car. Just throwing that out there to you to show you a Borrow Smart, right? Strategy beats rate always. Again, that's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. Continuing our conversation, Lucas Smith is in the house. We're chatting real estate. Sell My Home Real Estate is the name of the company. So before we went to break, we were talking about Lucas's situation, right? So he's told us about a property, that they're talking about rent versus own. And if you want information on rent versus own, rsrlinks.com/RVO, rsrlinks.com/RVO. We can show you about rent versus own. But when he bought his house, he said that the rent was about $1,000 a month less than his mortgage payment at that time. And I did simple math, and my math is overstated. Guaranteed my math is overstated. Why do I say my math is overstated? Because at that time, the rent was $1,000 a month less. Over time, rents increase, right? And probably about a year ago, the rent, I would bet, was the same or more than what the mortgage payment is. But I didn't count that. I just said $1,000 a month, 12 months, $12,000 a year, 10 years, $120,000. Now, the number that I shared, or I didn't share, that I kind of teased there, that we didn't count, was home appreciation, not home equity, because home equity is based on his payments, right? So it's his money, taking it out of his right front pocket, putting it into his left front pocket. That's where equity comes from. Equity is a combination of appreciation and the amount of money that you're spending. So in the Wealth Builder, his house would have been paid off already, but that's a different story, right? So the idea here is, now, what is the appreciation in that time period where you could have potentially spent $120,000 more?
So it's appreciated about $500,000 in that time.
Well, let's see, 10 years appreciated
9 years.
9 years. $500,000 less the 120 is $380,000.
Yep.
And I'm not going to ask you personal questions, but I'm going to say,
good, because if my wife sees this, we're both in trouble.
Right. So hypothetically, let's just say that you put 10% down at that time.
Uh-huh.
So you're probably looking at about 400%.
I don't like PMI. Let me just say that.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not against PMI, because I'd rather have somebody pay PMI and own a house.
Oh, me too.
Than not pay PMI and rent.
Right.
Right. Because PMI is only a small percentage. Rent is a big percentage.
Huge percentage. Right.
100% of your rent is the same as 100% interest.
100%.
Okay. So, because that's paid and gone. So you've got a 300, 400% return on your initial investment.
Yep. We do.
So think about that concept right there.
Yep.
Right. So you want to only be renting as long as you absolutely have to. And with down payment assistance now, do you really have to?
You don't, Ron, you don't. And look, a lot of buyers come to me and they're like, well, I want to live in Orange County. I'm like, great. I did too. And the house I had before this was in Corona,
Right.
right? Because it was affordable. We could build up some of that, right? Equity, because we had equity,
Sure.
we had payment versus what, right? And then when we had enough, we transitioned that into our current home.
So I don't want to ask your situation, but I want to ask a theoretical situation.
Sure.
If you bought a house in Corona, it appreciated over whatever time period you were there. If you could refinance that and take the equity out and buy a new primary residence where you wanted to with PMI, or sell it and buy a new house without PMI, which way do you think is the best way to go?
So I think if you can afford it, and this is goes against everything every real estate broker will tell you, if you can afford to keep the first house, keep the first house.
Okay. So you got a real estate broker saying don't sell.
If you can afford to keep it,
Right.
right, and build up your investment while renting that property out, move to another house, and it's affordable for you, absolutely 100% of the time do that.
Yeah, and I agree. It makes so much sense that way, because if you do that 3 or 4 times, now you're too old for this, Lucas, because if you did this at 25, by 45, you'd be retired. Right?
Well,
If you do
yeah,
that
I
3
would
or
have been
4 or 5
retired for
times.
9 years by now.
Right. That's why I say, now I'm older than you, so I say the same thing about me. Right. So it's, but the bottom line is that's a retirement strategy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So just,
Absolutely. If you can do a new house every 5 years,
right.
from the time you're 25 till you're 45,
Now you're taking money out to reinvest in another safe, secure investment. That would not equal a vacation, a boat, a car.
you're taking money out for the place for your family to live,
Right.
because we all have to have a place for our family to
Most
live.
of us prefer living indoors.
Right. Not in a car, not under a bridge.
Exactly.
Right. My kids liked growing up in our house. Right.
Absolutely. Much better that way. Right. So the bottom line is that's just a strategy. So in that situation, then PMI is a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. No.
And you get
And
rid
when
of
I
it.
said that, I probably misspoke, right? You were asking how much I invested in it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for me, that was the deal. But yeah, if you can do that, even if you're paying PMI on both residences,
Sure.
right? As long as it makes dollars and cents, you should do that.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically PMI is like an ante. Get in the
It
game.
is. Yeah,
Right. Because you can always get rid of PMI.
absolutely.
You can't buy that house at that price. And I was just chatting with somebody on Saturday, so one of those days, right? And they're a second or third generation in a property. Now think about that concept. Now they've been there for several years now, and I'm not going to get into Prop 13, Prop 19, and all that kind of stuff, but they're in a 7-figure home in Newport Beach, paying property taxes based on 50 years ago. Right? So now you're thinking about that. If you're building your net worth over time,
Right.
that property tax base is going to be a low number.
Yeah, that's not a bad gig.
Right? You keep
It's not a
on
bad gig.
doing that, and just understand what your strategy is.
Yeah.
Right? And talk to your real estate professional, talk to your lending professional, and know the strategy, because that way I'm sure you're watching real estate for people that may not be ready to buy for another year or two.
Yep.
Right? So it's just because you had a consultation with them, I'm assuming.
Always.
And what I always assume, or you always have a consultation?
I always have a consultation. Whether you're
So I
buying
know
or
you.
selling, we're going to sit down and have a conversation.
I know your process. I get it. So the bottom line is you understand, okay, are we buying now? Are we buying down the road? What's our strategy for down the road? Even if we just bought the house last week, what are we doing next week? Right? These are all things that you just keep on, that a professional like Lucas is going to keep on in his database,
right,
and review that every so often.
Yep.
When you're having those conversations with people, just saying, hey, are we still on track?
Yep.
Did you have another baby? Did you have another grandbaby? Do you have colleges, weddings?
Right.
What's going on in life?
Right.
Life happens, right?
Life happens.
I mean,
Thankfully.
yeah. I mean, I've got 2 grandkids. Love it. You've got your
I've got one, and the kids would like to have another one. So, hopefully we'll have another one soon.
So get out of practice and get into manufacturing. We understand that. Great having you on the show. As always,
you.
If you want to meet Lucas Smith, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I know where to find him, and I can give you his number. And don't forget, it is Sell My House, Lucas?
Sell My Home.
Sell My Home, okay.
Yep.
Sell My
Lucas
Home
at
Real Estate.
sellmyhomerealestate.com.
Lucas at sellmyhomerealestate.com. That is where you find him. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.